appreciating, as you said, appreciation.
Today I'm here with my father, Dr. Gurumadhva Rao, the founding president of RAK Medical Health Sciences University, who is now the advisor for the university. So I've been very impressed by the way my father handles people, and today I want to share his wisdom with you and start by asking my father how he manages people so creatively.
Thank you, Abhi, for selecting a very interesting topic. Not just interesting, very important topic. If I can say so, the success of anyone actually depends on how they are able to manage with a good interaction with others, man management or women management. So definitely it's a very critical point in our day-to-day life. And also, if you can manage the other people in a very effective way, that will be one of the very important factor for reduction of the stress.
But how do you do it so creatively? Okay, so we did discuss that. I wanted to ask you a couple of things about how you stay positive, which I feel is very important when you deal with people, because if you're happy and you're positive, you can spread that. So that is extremely positive, and we will talk about that. And how he's so patient with people. And there was a company in New York that I read about how they have a no-fire policy. And Dad also, in his work, has done his best to keep giving people a second chance. So maybe you can talk more about that, patience and positivity.
Yeah, sure. See, one thing we need to remember, the most critical point in any human relationship is the expectations, the level of expectations. See, most of the time what happens, unfortunately so, my expectation for others, about others, is at a very high level. Whereas we don't take adequate measures to match with our expectations, what we think about others' expectation. Just to expand on that little more, see, suppose somebody gets angry or somebody commits a mistake. What I usually expect? I think of only punishment. Same way, if somebody else is if I am in difficulty, I expect others to help me. If I also expect others to understand me. So all the time, what we expect from others? If we commit a mistake, we expect others to forgive us. If we are in difficulty, we want others to help us. But now you reverse this. When somebody else is in difficulty, what I think? Am I have the same level of thinking? That am I ready to help? Or somebody else commits a mistake? Whether I have the willingness to forgive or punish. You know, most of the time what happens, when somebody else commits a mistake, I am very eager to punish. Whereas when I commit a mistake, I want others to forgive me, others to tolerate me. See, this is the basic difference in the thinking process. For me, there is a one rule. For others, I make a different rule. But what I have tried in my profession, the rules are same for everybody. Level playing field. So what I do, what I was trying to do throughout my profession.
And Dad's career spans decades and decades.
43 years now.
30 years as serving the Manipal University in South India, and about 15 years in the United Arab Emirates. Go ahead. Pa.
Yeah, so the one thing which I practiced very effectively, I should say, is give a chance for everybody. So if somebody commits a mistake, sit with them, explain to them, counsel them, and try my level best to make them understand. So like this, I used to try at least 3 times on different occasions. Not only that, not just giving them impression, but making sure that they have the trust in me, that I am a well-wisher. So always I make it a point, not just by my talk, but by action, that I am a well-wisher. I am here to support. I am a facilitator. Anytime they can count on me. So this is the trust level what we used to try to develop, and fortunately in my profession, the trust level of the people who are working under me as colleagues, always it's very high. And most of the people, they don't have any doubt that yes, this man is not going to harm and this man is only there to support. I feel this is a very important aspect of any human relationship. The second equally important point we need to remember, see, when somebody comes and tells their whatever difficulty, we should remember it is based on their perception, their emotions, their thinking process. It may not be reflecting fully the facts. Same way, when I hear a story, my reaction to them also depends on what I am thinking in my mind, what is my attitude, and what is my perception. Again, it may not be fully reflecting on the fact. So, my effort was to find out the truth, basic truth. What exactly is the truth? How we will find out? 2-3 things we can easily do that. One is, on the face of it, I never used to take any action based on what I hear. Spend more time in finding out the truth through different feedbacks and some more work, counseling them, discussing with them, not once, 2-3 times. So ultimately, when I am sure that the fact has come out, then only we used to take action. I feel this is the most critical aspect of our any relationship, in not only finding out the truth, finding out who exactly is at fault, and then counsel them accordingly.
Sorry to interrupt, Pa. Couple of things I understand as takeaways. One, keeping other people's best interests in mind so that our actions, thoughts, act in a way that benefits them, keeping people's best interests in mind, and trying to be objective, trying to let our perception and their perception taint the truth less, so be objective. So a couple of things I want to add, something I learned from the great Tony Robbins, who, like Dad, has done decades of great work. He talks about how expectations must be replaced by appreciation. Something that you mentioned about how our expectations of others sort of come in the way of getting along. And age-old sayings like, do unto others what you want done to yourself. And how Dad was talking about how we want to be forgiven, but we don't forgive others. And things like that. So I wanted to talk to you, ask you a little more about patience. How have you developed patience?
See, this is an attribute which will not come easily. We need to practice. As I told you, first of all, we should have that attitude of tolerance and adjusting with others, appreciating, as you said, appreciation and not punishment, recognition and not ignoring. It's possible to practice. So it's very important for us to have patience to do all this. I agree with your point. So there are 2 or 3 ways. One is the correct attitude as a well-wisher, interacting with others as a well-wisher, and remembering the basic fact, I am not perfect. Naturally, others also will not be perfect. So I cannot expect perfection from others.
Yeah, and that you always had one very interesting fact growing up that Dad used to tell me was that just because I'm right doesn't mean someone else can't be right.
Yes.
There are other ways of being right. Go on.
Yes, correct. Yes, again, Abhishek has brought up a very important point. Just because I am right, it does not mean that others are wrong, because there are different ways of doing things. So there is nothing like absolute right or absolute wrong, because when you are flexible and when you are thinking of a win-win situation means not just I am winning and others should lose. When I am winning, others also should come along with me. They also should feel happy and proud about the winning. Now for that, we need to create an ambience where both the parties are satisfied with anything, achieving the task together, any discussion together, and everybody has got the power to disagree. So these are the three critical points. Of course, one more thing also I should add. In addition to that, we need to be somewhat spiritual. We need to definitely remember all the time that I may be intelligent, but there are so many people more intelligent than me. So thinking that always I am right, so all others are wrong. So that's why, because I am right all the time, I am a very big person. Thinking of these itself is detrimental for the whole interaction. Ultimately, achieving the task in a pleasurable way. There is a difference between achieving the task in a stressful way, achieving the task in a pleasurable way. How we can achieve the task in a pleasurable way? That's only possible with the collective effort. Nothing is one-man effort. Always we need people to come together. We need people to work together. We need people enjoy together.
So couple of takeaways from what you were saying. First of all, about the win-win situation, the fabulous Stephen R. Covey, the late Stephen R. Covey, who has done fantastic work, talked about not only win-win situations, talked about synergy, about collective greater than the sum of the parts. And when I was researching more about Stephen R. Covey and his work on win-win situations, there was this story that his daughter told after he passed away about how he made her spending time with her a priority, even though one of his friends had called him for a dinner, etc., 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 and that she cherishes those memories of going, sneaking into the hotel pool in the night and having ice cream with her father and things like that. And times like this that I can spend with my father, I really cherish. Thank you so much, and it's been fantastic. Any final comments? Maybe we can finally touch on the spiritual bit of it and talk about inclusive culture and wonderful things like peace on earth and humanity on Mars. Final comments, Pa.
So when I say spiritual, we need to differentiate between religion and spirituality. Religion is a route to attain that spirituality. But unfortunately, we are seeing nowadays, in the name of religion, so many things are happening which should not have happened. So ultimately, the religion, prayer, meditation, there are several methods where whatever we have acquired, you should utilize that to attain that spirituality. What is this actually spirituality? See, when spirituality means we are losing our ego. All the time remembering that our life is temporary. Definitely one day we are going to disappear. So as long as we are living here, okay, do as much good as possible. This is the simple way of approach, and that's how our ego will be destroyed. When ego is not there, naturally our approach will be selfless approach, not selfish approach. I think this is the very simple way I'm trying to
Yeah,
explain.
maybe what I understand from this is that there's always something greater than me, greater than the ego. There's always something greater than me, greater than the ego. That my goals, my desires, my work is only a part of something greater, and that hopefully is a path to inclusive thought and action. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm very sure these, some of the simple principles of life, will make you work without stress. See, most of the time, when we work with the stress, it becomes a punishment. But when we complete our task, we are busy with our work, when we consider it as an enjoyment, whole thing will change. We will enjoy whatever we are doing. Thank you, Abhi.
Thumbs up to the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.